Are you ready? Because we are. It's about that time. It's showtime.
Okay, so I'm going to be brief today. Lesson 2, lessons in love, love for dummies. Unconditional love versus conditional love. All right. So bear with me for a moment. I've been dealing with a very great loss for the last couple of days. My mentor, my best friend, my older brother passed away last week. This is why I've been gone for a couple of days. So I've been dealing with that process. But the only reason that I bring that up now is because this is the person who had the biggest impact in my life in terms of understanding what conditional versus unconditional love actually is. So the majority of your relationships in your life, unfortunately, will be conditional relationships. And what that means is the extent of the love that you'll receive or give from one person to another will be based on what that person or that situation can benefit from you and vice versa. Those are conditional love relationships. The majority of relationships are those types of relationships. And once it's brought to your attention, it'll become more apparent to you. While you're living in those relationships, you may not see it. Most people won't see it. Most people won't understand it. It's a lot easier for people to give advice to others, and they may not be living that way themselves, right? For example, sometimes it's easier to coach a player than it is to be a player in a game, sport and activity, or even, trainer versus student versus, educator, or, those type of dynamics, boss versus employees. It's somewhat simpler to tell someone else how to do something than it is to actually practice those preachings, right? So in conditional relationships, just like it is for someone in, say, a domestic, an abusive relationships, we can look at someone else's relationship and understand that they're in an abusive relationship, but we may not even see that we are in an abusive relationship, right? So conditional love relationships typically are the most common relationships where you only deal with someone you can get or gain from that person in that relationship, whether it's a friend, intimate relationship, a lover, a teacher, a coach, a coworker, a colleague, a neighbor, a family member. The majority of our relationships are conditional love relationships where we tend to only deal with people that can help our lives or we can benefit from. All right. An unconditional love relationship is where there is no expectation or no physical or material or artificial, superficial, ulterior motive or benefit that you gain from that relationship. Unconditional love is the love where someone loves you and everything about you just the way that it is, where you don't have to bring anything to the table but yourself, your energy, consistently being yourself, consistently being the spirit that you are, and being there in times of need to support the fact or support the words that you may say to someone that represent you loving them. That's how I love. That's how I expect the people that love me to love me. And I don't, after living the majority of my life in conditional love relationships, I make sure that moving forward for myself, the betterment of myself, the health of myself and my family and my support system, I make sure that I only engage in unconditional love relationships because I have experienced the other and I recognize which one helps me become a better person, which one's going to help me propel into a better realm of life for me and my loved ones, and also in general. Being loved unconditional allows a person to be able to feel confident in walking out into the world day to day, dealing with the responsibilities of adulthood, parenthood, and everything else with a higher level of confidence, a higher level of contentment, a higher level of belief that things will be better, because they know that they don't have to fear judgment, fear banishment, fear rejection because of who they are and the way that they love. I believe that unconditional love is the only way we should all love. I believe, based on my experiences, that unconditional love is the form of love that will allow everyone to grow, will allow the world to communicate in a better way, experience each other in better ways, become better at implementing these ideals and teaching the next generation on how to love so that it's easier for them. This life that we live, that's not guaranteed, that's not promised, that's full of ups and downs, emotional turmoil, and all of these things that we have to deal with as individuals. Unconditional love should be the only form of love that we teach to one another. It should be the only form of love that we share with one another. We shouldn't fear loving others. We shouldn't fear allowing others to love us. We should love one another unconditionally every single day and watch the world become a better place. Promise you that. This one's for you. My older brother, G Money, Gary Williams. Can't keep the winners from winning. Love unconditionally, y'all. All right, until next time, I'm Larry Love. I'm the Love Coach.